Welcome to day 13 of 100 Days of Python, a Python script each day, code along challenge with me. And if you want to find the whole index, you can find it at bmosley.com/hdp. Let's get started with today 13. So today we're going to be working on a simple simulation of an ATM machine. So we're going to set up an account with a variable that keeps track of our amount of money we have in our account. And then we are going to allow users to deposit and withdraw money from the account. So it's going to be really simple, one account, very simple transactions, just to help us get our feet wet with some simple loops. And also I'm going to introduce something called a break statement. So let's get going. And so the first thing we want to do is we want to set up our account. str, no, it's not going to be a string, it's going to be a float account, and let's be generous and we'll start off with $100 in our account. Okay, so we've set up a float variable called FL account, and we put $100 in there, and that's what we're going to start with for our transactions. Now let's welcome the user. Okay, so let's do something a little bit more fancy this time. So we'll do 60 of those. There we go. And we'll get that on the bottom of that too. And in between we'll say print, welcome to the fake ATM. And we'll center it in a line of 60. Keep it fairly simple. And then we'll throw in a couple of line breaks. Print creates one line break, and then we'll add another inside the quotes, so that'll skip 2 lines. And then we'll say print, and we'll do triple quotes here. There we go. Oh, too many. There we go. So we will say choose one of the following. First is press 1 to deposit, press 2 to withdraw. Okay, and then at the end, one more line break. And then the next thing we want to do is we're going to create menu equals, we're getting input from the user so we can ask them what they want to do. So what do you want to do? And based on that choice, we want to branch into a deposit or withdraw scenario. And so what we're going to do there is we are going to say if str menu equals, and remember it's a string because we're not going to convert it to an integer. It doesn't matter because it's just going to be used that one time. It's not going to be used in any mathematical sort of way, so we can just keep it a string. So this is the choice for deposit, and I'm going to go ahead and put my menu structure here first. And notice it's underlining that because it doesn't like that I'm not putting any real code in here. All I have is a comment, but it'll be fine. LF, and we'll say str menu equals 2, and that's going to be a withdrawal. Okay, and then else, if they don't choose 1 or 2, then they just chose something wrong. That's not a valid choice. Oops, spelling is hard. There we go. Okay, so if they choose 1, it'll be a deposit. If they choose 2, it'll be a withdrawal. And if they choose anything other than 1 or 2, that's not a valid choice. Now I'm just going to fill these in. So let's start with deposit. And we need to know how much they want to deposit before we can do the deposit. So what we're going to do is we're going to say FL deposit. And we are going to change this on the fly, float. So whatever we put in the input is going to be changed to a float on the fly. Now we're just going to trust that the user is going to put some numbers in there, otherwise we're going to get an error. Never should do this in a production situation, but for the purpose of learning, we're not going to worry too much about this. We'll get into error checking down the road, but for now we're not too worried about it. How much do you want to deposit? Okay. And you may be wondering why I like to put a space at the end of my input statements. And the reason for that is because users often want to hit a space before they type something because it's right next to the question. And so if I put a space there, they're less likely to do that. But another way we can fix that is if we throw a strip on there, and that makes sure that we're only that we're removing any spaces. So I can do that here, strip. I don't have to put a strip on here because float, when it turns it into a number, is going to take care of that anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. So now let's deposit that money, which means we've got to add this amount to this amount. And the way we do that is we say FL account plus equals FL deposit. And all that says is take what's in here and add that to it. So FL account will now equal $100 plus whatever they type there. Okay, so that is print you deposited FL deposit into your account. Print your new balance is FL account. There we go. And now let's do the withdrawal. Now, first thing we want to do is the same thing here. We want to ask how much they want to withdraw first. So the FL withdrawal equals float input. How much do you want to withdraw? Okay, now we can't just take the money out because what if they don't have enough? What if we have $100 in there and they want to take out $200? Obviously, that would be irresponsible for any ATM to allow that. So first thing we got to do is check and make sure that they have enough money in there. So we're going to say if the amount in the account is greater than or equal to, because you could empty your account. Banks don't actually like it if you do that, but let's just roll with it. Then we're going to allow it. So FL account minus equals, same as this. It says we're going to take that amount and we're going to add this. So minus equals, same thing, except we are doing the withdrawal. So we're removing it from the account. And let's recycle a little bit of code here. We withdrew FL withdrawal from your account. Your new balance is that, stays the same. And now, if they don't have enough money, else, we don't need an elif here because either they have enough money or they don't. So we're just going to say print you don't have enough money. Okay, so there is our whole thing. And now let's run this. Welcome to the fake ATM, choose one of the following. Let's do a withdrawal. Oh, how much do I want to withdraw? $80. Okay, so there's that, although it does not look like money, so we need to fix that so that it's properly formatted. The other thing is it would be nice if they could do more than one transaction because maybe you want to deposit some money and withdraw some money or something like that. Let's check this out and see how we can do more than one transaction. First, really quick, let's do some formatting in here real quick. So the format code for money is colon 0.2f colon 0.2f. And then we'll throw a little bit of a little dollar sign in front here so it looks like actual money. Oops. And there we go. There's our formatting, so that looks great. And now we want to figure out another looping situation. So I'm going to have it loop from here over. So let's, while true, that's just going to create an infinite loop. It's just going to do this forever and ever. Every time you hit the bottom of that code that's indented, it'll go back and run that loop again. So now, deposit $19,000. Oh, look at that. We got 20 grand in there. Let's withdraw. I want to withdraw 30,000. You don't have enough money. Okay, so let's withdraw. Let's withdraw 25,000. I don't have enough money still. Oh, that's right, because I only have 20,000 in there. Let's go 19,500. Oops, not a valid choice. I have to do withdraw first. Withdraw 19,500. Now I have $500 left. Okay, so that is good. But what do I do when I want to be done? There's no option to exit that loop. So let's build that in. One last thing to do here. So instead of just hitting this point and going back up and redoing the while true, let's give the user an option to exit. And so let's say str done. No, let's say str another equals input. And we're going to say, do you want another transaction? Yes or no. Okay. And so if they choose yes, we want it to go and do another loop. If they choose no, we want it to stop. So the only thing we're concerned about is if they say no. So we're going to say if str another equals no, then we are going to break. And then the last thing we're going to do, and notice I'm outside of the loop now, I'm unindented, back to the baseline. I'm going to say print, and we'll give it a line here, and we'll say thank you for using my ATM Sim. All right, let's run this one more time and see how it goes. Okay, so here's my fake ATM. Let's deposit 500. We have 600 in the account. Another transaction, yes. Let's withdraw something now, 300. And our new balance is 300 because we had 600 before. And if we say no, no more transactions, that says thank you for using my ATM Sim. And that's the end. So in this lesson, or in this coding challenge, we went with a while true, which is an infinite loop. It'll go forever and ever. And we used some nested if-elif branching. So notice the indentation levels. The indents will kill you if you're not careful. So make sure everything that goes in that code block is indented. And make sure that when you're done indenting, that you're outdenting, so to speak, at the right level. And then we also learned how to break out of a loop using the break command. And that's it for today.